welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyan and this is Kyan is Booked. And today we are introducing the next reading vlog for our Rina Kent journey. If you haven't started, I'll link up here my Royal Elite Part 1 reading vlog, which is where the Backlist reading begins with our Royal Elite family. I am 4 series, I guess, into reading Rina Kent's Backlist in publication order. So we're on the this is the 3rd duet I would have read for Rina. And this is the Thorns duet. So there was like a small little like novella that I read. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I mean, if I remember to, I'll pop it up right here. But it begins with Red Thorns, which is the first book. And then the second book is, hang on, let me scroll down on my screen right here. Black Thorns. I'm really loving the cover. She, I will say, like, she always picks like the most attractive men to put on her covers. Like, I'm like, hello. I do find it interesting though that like this is not an MM, this is an MF, and both covers are of the guy and not, because normally she does like the first one is the guy in a duet and then the second cover is the girl. So this one just has the guy on both of them. So anyways, what is this about? A bet turned into a disaster. Sebastian Weaver is the star quarterback and college's heartthrob, rich, handsome bastard. Everyone's attention flocked toward him and all the girls dreamed to be with him. Not me, at least not until he made a move on me. See, I thought I was stronger than Sebastian's charm. I thought I could survive being his target. I thought wrong. Little did I know he would make my most twisted fantasies come true, fantasies I didn't know existed. Okay, so this is a dark new adult book, dubious situations, and this is part of a duet and is not a standalone. So we meet Sebastian in, oh my gosh, I just finished this series, the Lies and Truths duet, and I'll link the reading vlog up there for you because I literally just finished it and like this is the next one. So we meet Sebastian and I do know who his heroine is gonna be Naomi, and Naomi was like friends and on the cheer squad with Rina from that series, and Asher and Sebastian are best friends. So I always like when it's like interconnected and like we can see, like we can meet them early and kind of get like an idea of their personalities. And then I also like when like we see the older characters come back. So I am gonna start this. It's saying it's 306 pages. So we'll see, I guess. Sorry, I'm trying to get it on a Kindle Unlimited right now. I'm like clicking through. So I'm gonna start that and I'll come in, and usually I like to update. There's no rhyme or reason to the way that I update my vlogs. If you've watched a couple, then you know I usually just come like when I feel like I need to get something off my chest, and then I go back and read. So here we are, episode 4 or 5, I guess, because I didn't put Royal Elite all in one, but whatever. Next duet. I'm very excited for this one because I felt like Sebastian and Naomi were like really teased in like the last duet, and I'm very, very excited that they're our next one. Although I'm excited for the first trilogy that I'm going to read about this one couple, but I digress. When we get there, like I'll get really excited about it. Okay, so let's go. I'll see you back in a bit. Okay, so I binge read the rest of Red Thorns last night. And I could barely stop myself from starting the next book because I wanted to, like, desperately, but I knew if I did, I wasn't going to remember the thoughts that I had about Red Thorns, and that I wouldn't be able to do a concise update. So let's see. So we find out that Sebastian and Naomi are into some intense stuff. So like the hunting in the forest and pain with the pleasure and all of that, but like to an extreme level, right? So if you like have triggers for that, then I recommend like not reading this book, because Sebastian I don't even really know, like he took the dare because he didn't want the other guy on the team, Josh, to sleep with her. But I really do think that like he's been obsessed with her since like the beginning. And his obsession only got worse when he realized like how compatible the two of them were in bed. And I use bed like loosely, but because like, have they even had sex in a bed yet? I don't even know. They might have once. Yes, they did once. Okay, but that's beside the point. That's either here, no, that was the floor of a cabin. Yeah, no, they haven't. So once he found out like how compatible they were together. Oh my God, Belle always has to make some sort of a noise, doesn't she? Like that was like the end for Sebastian. He was like, yeah, no, she's mine, right? And I had this like really bad feeling that the cliffhanger on this book was gonna be the fact that like she was finding out about the fact that there was a bet concerning her. Because Lucy, who's supposed to be her friend, who was also on like the outskirts of the cheer team, like suddenly gets pulled into the inner circle. And she's like forced more of like the outcast. She loses her only friend. Like she's struggling, whatever. She like is really starting to fall for Sebastian, really starting to care about Sebastian. And, was that dust that just flew up? It like almost looked like I had a little halo. Anyway, I'm really starting to care about him. And then that bomb was dropped at like 75%, 80%, I want to say. And what ended up being the cliffhanger, it did not come out of left field, because another plot point that is kind of happening at the same time is Naomi desperately wants to know who her father is, right? And her mom has always kept it a secret, hasn't been willing to tell her, just said like, it's always you and I, it's always you and I. But like her mom ran away from Japan for a reason, right? Like Naomi's a first generation American because she was born, wait, is she? Oh my gosh, she might have been born in Japan. Oof, no, she ran away. Okay, mom ran away and she had, okay, yeah, no, I'm back on track. I was like, am I confusing myself? So she's first generation American, right? But her mom ran away from Japan from her elderly parents that didn't approve of what had happened, of the decisions that Naomi had made, that her mom had made, resulting in Naomi. And there's just like this whole big bunch of like hardcore drama going on, right? And what actually ends up being the cliffhanger has something to do with her dad. And like, that's all I'm gonna say, because like Sebastian's in the middle of like this epic grovel, right? And well, not even like a grovel, like she's out in the forest. She thinks that he's gonna like come and meet her, even though like they've had no conversation about it. She misses him, but she doesn't wanna miss him. Like, classic, like, you know, struggle bus. And then like these two guys show up, right? And she's running and Sebastian's like, whoa, like, why are you running? Like, I'm not chasing you. Like, I want to talk to you. And she's like, eh. And then, you know, stuff happens. So I haven't continued reading on. Because like I said, I didn't want to get anything confused. But, you know, like obviously this comes with like semi-spoilers, which I probably said in the first clip, but you know, like I never remember what I say sometimes. Now, am I enjoying this? Oof, immensely. Like I wasn't sure, like I wanted Naomi and Sebastian's story because we got it teased in Rina and Asher's duet, which by the way, like at the very end of this book, we get like Asher is just shown back up, right? And then, so like it's running basically like essentially dual timeline with the duet I just got done reading, which is actually kind of fascinating because you can kind of see like what's happening between Asher and Rina and like how weird it is that she's acting the way that she's acting and kind of like all this stuff. On like the other side of it and from like other point of view. So like I'm very interested in it. So I've been having a really good time with that. I am gonna start the next book, which I think is Black Thorns. I have it written down somewhere. So I'm done with Red Thorns. I'm gonna start Black Thorns next. I'm really enjoying it. I really also too like the fact that like Sebastian has so many layers to him. And you know, he's rich. He has a very politically, I don't want to say like politically sound, but like a very strong political family that he comes from. He was raised by his grandparents. We don't know too much about what's happening. We know his parents died in an accident. He was raised by his grandparents. He has to be perfect. He plays the game really well, but like there's this mask that he wears and he's really only dropped that mask for Naomi, which is why she's not allowed to leave him. So he's like super possessive, super alpha, like she's like, we're not together anymore. And he goes, That's what you thought. Because I've chased you through a forest and you don't get to leave me. And I'm just like, they're crazy. But like in a good way. He... Okay, I'm trying to find... I don't know what this... I just like, and he always is pushed and pushed and pushed, but I like the fact that like towards the end she started like reciprocating it. Like it was great. So yeah, he says like I wouldn't be able to find someone whose crazy matches mine, and I really feel like that's a perfect way to sum up this relationship. So things are getting crazy. I think Naomi's dad's about to enter the picture. So I say a lot about duets. Like I don't usually like duets, but I am really enjoying like how the story is like evolving and how in between each duet, like what changes between one and the other. So I really like the fact that like Sebastian, like you start to see him come to terms with the fact that like he cares for her. And there's been a lot of comments about like how he's low on empathy. So like, could he be a psychopath or is it sociopath? Whichever path he's on, right? But there's something there for Naomi. And I think Naomi, her biggest thing is just like her insecurity. Like she's got to let go and she's got to just accept the fact that like she's trash for this man, right? But like that's where she's struggling. But I am excited to see how their adventure goes. And then I don't even know what's after this because like I don't care. I need them to have a happily ever after. So I'm probably going to read the second book tonight, which I think is Black Thorns. Hang on. We can look at the back of the book. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's Black Thorns. So let me see if the blurb's right here. A lie turned into a nightmare. She broke my heart, broke me, broke us. Only one thing could mend the gaping wound she left behind. Her, Naomi. All mine for the taking, all mine for the owning. All mine. Anyway, I want to go download it. I have to make some dinner too because like I've been filming for the last hour and girl's hungry. But anyways, I'll be back with my thoughts. Okay, so we're back. And we're gonna be talking about Black Thorns by Rina Kent. I stopped reading last night because I knew that I was gonna need to do like a bridger because I couldn't just come back having read this entire book and not checked in with you guys because, okay, I'm 42% into this book and it's crazy, okay? And I'm gonna spoil some things because I have to get my thoughts out about this. And like, this is another thing I really hate about duets too, because like you can't really talk about book 2 without like giving up some things, but I just need to like say some things out loud so I don't feel like I'm crazy. So I'm trying to, all right, let me bookmark this page. Cool. Where my chapters list because I just read something. Maybe chapter 19, I'm pretty positive. Yeah. Okay, so there's a 7-year jump. And for those of you who, I don't want to say like, I don't usually love like massive gaps in time. Now, do I think that it's probably like needed? Like, yeah, for sure. I think it is needed. But I do think that, I don't want to say it takes away from anything because I don't think it really does. I just like am impatient in the sense that I want Sebastian and Naomi together and I hate what she had to give up in order to save him because we know at the end that like he was literally dying. His gunshot wound was so bad and the infection got so bad at one point that like they told him he was never going to be able to play football again, right? And he's like, no dude, it's fine, like I don't care, like is Naomi okay? And he's like so gone for this girl and like so trash for her, and then she ends up having to break his heart, but we know it's because she's trying to save him, right? Because, well, we know who her dad is now. And her mom was right. love him. We don't love him at all. So I'm trying to find it because it drops the name of this character that I want to tie it back to, but where is it? So she is married at this point, and she's married to Akira, A-K-I-R-A. I'm probably not saying that correctly, but he was her pen pal when they were in high school, right? And I say pen pal loosely because he started writing her. He's 7, 8 years older than her, but this is this really long, like, what do you call it? This really long, convoluted web that her father wove to get her married off to Akira, who is like in Japan, from old money essentially, and like old power. I don't know what Belle's doing. Anyway, old money and old power. So like her dad needed help. She is obviously his daughter, and she's gonna get married off, and like it's like for Akira, like he cares about her, and Naomi's just like, yeah, dude, whatever. Like the only man I love is the one that I can't have, right? Because like, you know, she still loves Sebastian. Like it's whatever. And we all know Sebastian still loves her. Like just because he's like, he feels slighted and she hasn't been able to tell him what happened doesn't mean that he doesn't love her, right? So she's married. It destroys Sebastian to know that she's married. He's like, she's fucking married. And then like he's a lawyer, and he offers to represent her husband, and he does corporate law. And he offers to represent her husband, and Naomi's like, oh God, this is gonna be horrible, because Akira's not a good person, obviously because he's aligned with the mafia, right? So, so they're having dinner right now with her dad, and her husband goes up to like get a gift that he got for her dad, and so he's out of the room, and they get into like a slight argument, and her dad tells her, you're being ungrateful. And she's like, for what exactly? For making me into a mafia princess, forcing me to get married, or else you would have sold off my half-sister when we're your own fucking flesh and blood, or threatening me with never allowing to see my mom on her deathbed. Or maybe it's making me believe that you were a father worth waiting for all these years. Because we know how much like Naomi coveted her dad, and like how badly she wanted that relationship with him. And so she's so let down. Like she's just like, I can't even believe that like I waited around for someone like you, right? And Kai, who was a private investigator who helped her, actually works for her father. So he's in this scene right here, shaking his head as he eats his dinner. Riko, R-I-K-O. So, stick with me here. If you've read Rina and Asher, then you know Reina's twin sister, Riko, is the one who has escaped his clutches, which means that really Rina and Naomi are probably stepsisters at this point, half-sisters. Their father's blood's the same, but like it would be different mothers, obviously. And so Riko is the one who got away, and I'm really hoping we get like her story here soon. I'm sure she's probably up like somewhere on the list. I'm trying really hard not to go forward and to spoil things for myself. Like I'm trying really hard just to like read whatever comes next in the series, right? So I stopped at 42%, where Sebastian and Naomi are alone for the very first time in 7 years. And haven't had any type of conversation, no type of contact. Like he went from being somebody who was super fake or whatever to just like barely living. He throws everything into his job. He's never loved anybody else other than her. And it's just like, it's heart-wrenching almost, because I really like Sebastian, and I know that Naomi loves him, and she really doesn't have a choice because he was gonna die if she didn't make the deal that she made. So it's like, I get it, but like then the fact that it's been 7 years and like you're married to somebody else, like I'm mad on Sebastian's behalf, but at the same time, like that's the deal that she made to make sure that he could live. It's just a really horrible situation to be in. And like when she made that comment to her dad of like being like, oh yeah, and like I waited for you, and for what? And I was like, you go, girl. And I don't like her husband. And I know he's going to do some shady stuff. And I know he's going to try and screw Sebastian over. And I know he's just like not a good person because he's already made comments about like going up against Sebastian. And I know he feels inferior to Sebastian because Naomi doesn't love him. Like, he knows that Naomi loves Sebastian. Not the hairball in the back of the vlog. So it's just, there's a whole lot of angst going on right now. I don't even know if it's angst. Like, I just feel like we're on pins and needles because, like, I don't know how Sebastian's going to react. Like, respectfully, he could just go crazy because, like, you know what? I'd go crazy too. Like, if I knew somebody loved me and I know that they gave up something for me and then they crushed my heart and then 7 years later I'm confronted with them again and they're married to somebody else. Anyway, it's been a wild ride so far. I am really enjoying this. I am going to tell you, though, that the 7-year gap is going to come back to haunt this just because, like, I hate when that happens. And I hate when, like, I would have appreciated more if it was just, like, 2 or 3 years. And then, like, now, like, this is where we are. However, I do understand the fact that, like, Sebastian was, like, he wasn't out of law school. He hadn't passed the bar. Like, there was a lot of things that he had to do. And then a lot of things that Naomi has to do as well. We're still holding on to the cough from October. Yeah, I'm going to say that in every video because I just can't believe that I'm still coughing. Anyway, so we're at 42%. I don't want to make any promises and say that I'm going to update you before I finish the book. So it might just be like a really long update on the back end. Despite the 7-year gap, because I know I just brought that up, but despite the 7-year gap, like, I really am having a great time with this. And I just, like, my heart hurts for both of them because I know how much they care about each other. And just the fact that, like, so many things have come between their happily ever after just, like, makes me so sad for them. So that's the update. So, yeah. Let's see how Sebastian handles this because we all know my man's gonna win her back. Because that's just who he is. So, see you soon. What's up, party people? I'm here to close out this reading vlog. So we're gonna be talking about Black Thorns today. And I just want to sum everything up because so this is gonna be a 4-star for me. And there's not really a whole lot to say because I'm not going to spoil what happens in the end. Like, I don't want to ruin it for you guys. So I'm going to hold off on, like, you know, spoiling anything in that aspect of it. However, I do want to say that this is just like a personal preference of mine, but there are a few time jumps in the second book. Number one, I wasn't expecting it, right? So that kind of like really threw me, but also too, like, I'm just not a huge fan of time jumps, maybe because I'm impatient and I just want them to be together. So I didn't love the fact that there was like a much larger obstacle to have to go through. Like, we had the time jump, we had the issue of her marrying another man in this one. Don't stress, like, don't worry. Sebastian, our man Sebastian comes through. I'm not a hater, but I just, like, I wanted them to be together in a different way. However, I believe that this is going to set, and I think I said this theory, I can't remember. Like, you might even see half of this clip. No, you will, because I'll still put it in there. But I think based off of what we're reading and based off of, like, the mafia ties, I think this is setting up Rihanna, like, we saw her in All the Lies and All the Truths, setting up her twin sister's books. So I really do think, and I think I said this theory earlier in the vlog, but I'm really convinced at this point that the people that we ran into in this one are going to be people that we're going to run into later as well. And I'm assuming what's going to be like a continuation of the mafia side of things, and not just the, like, we're super rich and look at us type of things. So, like I said, I had a really good time with this. I love Sebastian. I love how much he loves her. Like, he truly does. And, like, you really get to see, and, like, she is honest with him about like how she ended up in the situation she ended up in, why everything ended the way that it had to end back then, how she talked to Nathaniel about it, and like why they made a decision to just go ahead and move forward with it. And like he was furious, and like he had every right to be furious, but I really appreciated the fact that like she didn't like shield him from it for like his own good or anything, that like she was very honest with him about it. And I did really like the Mafia tie-in. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because I was trying to figure out how we were, because I've looked at the entire reading list because I had to determine like how many episodes I was gonna do of this and like how long it would take me to read everything. So I do know that we veer towards, because I've looked at the book covers, I've read some of the synopsises, so I know we're veering towards more of like the Mafia side of things. So I was very interested to see how that was gonna happen. And like where we were getting, like, you know, like how we were gonna get there. And I really feel like that, like Asher and Reyna, Sebastian, Naomi, and then this like Empire standalone-esque side of things is gonna kind of be that like gateway and connection that we have to like these previous couples and how they all end up working together with these next couple of couples, these next set of couples. How many times can you say couple in one sentence? But I just like, I want it on the record, like I really enjoyed this book. I really like, and I know I say this in my wrap-up a lot too, because I did talk about a little bit about this in my wrap-up, so like I'll link it up there if you're interested. I don't think giving 4 stars to a duet is saying like, oh, like don't read it, it wasn't good. Like I consider something not to be good, like if I'm reading it on my Kindle and you never hear about it because I didn't finish it. Like, I just don't finish things that I'm not enjoying, and then I don't talk about it, because I want, like on my channel, I only want to talk about things that I want to talk about, only want to talk about things I enjoy, and only want to talk about things I'm obsessed about. Like, I don't want to talk about, oh my gosh, like I didn't like this book. Okay, so what? I don't want to talk about that. I know there are some channels like where they really want to like dive into the syntax and like dive into the story and like really be about it, and like that's totally fine, but I want to dive into stories that like I'm obsessed with, right? So I gave this a 4-star. It's a 4-star duet. It's I think it's gonna be, I think I will appreciate it once I get a little bit further in the reading list and some things start to like make sense as to why some decisions were made for this duet. And that's totally fine, because I get it, because sometimes like you don't appreciate things until you kind of get further on. Like the first time I read Throne of Glass, I was like, I don't understand why everybody tells me to read the series, and then I hit Air of Fire and I was like, okay, it all makes sense, because you've got to build some things up. And I think that this duet did a really good job of putting 2 people together and then connecting certain things so that the whole of the universe will make more sense. And by universe, I mean like the Rena-verse, if you will. I just made that up. So thanks again for coming along on a vlog with me. I'm having the time of my life. Like, I'm really excited. Next up, I've got Empire of Desire, which is gonna be Uncle Nathaniel's book. So I'm really excited to read his. It's a dad's best friend situation, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that's all I got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this little ending to it. I really hope you pick up this duet and pick up these books in this universe, because I'm having a great time. I'll drop the reading order link in the description box below if you want to join me. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to be notified, I was trying to think of the word. If you'd like to be notified when new vlogs come out, new projects, because I have a few coming for 2024, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.